Good evening, everyone. Welcome along to another Tier 2 Tuesday here with Apex Online Racing. This is the Sprint Cup Series Season 17, Round 2 here at Donington, brought to you by our fantastic Patreon members. If you are interested in signing up for Patreon, have a look in the description below this video. There is a link there for it. And also a link to our Discord as well, so then you can get involved in all the racing if you should so much feel like it. I believe, I'm trying to see the number on the first car out there. Annoyingly being slightly hidden by the 911 at the moment, but we'll jump on board with our first car out on the track as soon as possible. I know it begins with a 2. Car number 21, car number 21. Let's find them and jump on board with them for some reason. Oh no, it's not. It's 211. It is Zimitrov. So this is going to be the benchmark lap, and so for the benchmark opening lap of the session, let's jump on the dashboard of the thundering Mustang. A little bit of traffic in front of him, car number 24, coming down through Hollywood at the moment and down towards the Carina curves. Probably going to see the best couple of laps of this session of qualifying. It's damp at the moment with continued rain and only going to get worse. So as soon as the tyres are switched on, we'll probably get 1 or 2 laps, and then after that I imagine the laps are going to start tumbling down. That is why everyone is out as quickly as possible. Back from the planes. Decent run there, plenty of exit curve, a little bit squirrely on the exit. Hard on the brakes again. Starkey straight down towards the S's. Now this was a pretty hot spot last night in the Tier 1 race. So here in Tier 2, no doubt we'll see some pretty good stuff. Bollards have already been sent flying on the outlap, it would seem, and the tyre stack miles away in the distance. Brake down towards Melpin, hairpin, throws it in, just about staying off the painted stuff. Rolling back on the power now. 1 corner left to go. Goddard's and then back onto the pit straight. So this is going to be the provisional benchmark. So let's just put them in pole, even if it is only very briefly, and that's a 1:31.9, but immediately other drivers knocking him down. There we go, just seeing in the chat, a couple of people just wondering where I was. Yep, the server was running a few minutes late, so I thought rather than bore everyone with just sitting there and just watching cars practice for a little moment or two, I thought he'd just let you listen to the new song for a little bit longer. Right, Robert R. Larvey, currently for KUNOS-Simulazioni Racing, is leading the charge, currently in pole position with a 1:31.1. Though for those who are uninitiated with Apex Online Racing, this is obviously the 15-minute qualifying session. Then after this we will have 60 minutes of racing. There is 1 mandatory pit stop, and that is for a mandatory tyre change. No fueling allowed, so you've got to make sure you've calculated the amount of fuel you need for the entire race. There we go, a couple of different titles coming in now. Benjamin King is now taking away pole position. Jones in second. Alderman in third. Rob Arlaby, though, was on an improvement, but has actually dropped down a little bit. Who was with Delurber now put himself up into 4th place. We're going to stick with them a bit longer. Rob Arlaby is now abandoned the lap. Right, someone who is on improvement. Chris Southcott, who, if I am not mistaken, was actually our winner last time around. Yes, Chris Southcott, our current championship leader. Won at Silverstone last week in an all-dry race. This is a mixed condition race, so it might be a bit dry, might be a bit wet, might be a little bit of both, who knows. Last night in Tier 1 we had a mainly dry race, and then some of the last 10 minutes of the race got very soggy indeed. Some people held right out to the last moment before chucking a set of wets on. Some people braved it out in slicks. Be interested to see what everyone does here this evening. Southcott puts himself on pole with a 1:30.875. So just while the qualifying is going through, let's have a quick run through our championship top 10. So Chris Southcott in first place. Gaston Deleubre in second place. Coquinis in third place. Jones in fourth. Arlavi in fifth. Belchate in sixth place. Isiak in seventh. Amir in 8th, Nathaniel Shirley in 9th, and Bigelow in 10th place in the championship. So all those drivers will be looking to try and get on the podium, if not at the top of the podium again this evening. Jones now currently running in pole position. Zytek still on an improvement, running in 15th place at the minute for We Bros. Should be a livery back here this evening that I am really going to be happy to see if it is back. I'm going to double check in just a moment. I'm going to jump across to the Porsches and see if I can find it. Currently, Zytek was up on his time, but he lost quite a bit there through that the Melbourne hairpin. Managed to get a little bit back, is in 15th at the moment. But we'll see what we can do. You can see over 26 cars all within a second of each other up into 12th place. So not the biggest jump in the world. Probably would have wanted more. But there we go. Right, Azami. Racing in the Tamir car. Very smart car number 28. Currently running in 8th place at the moment, but making big improvements on their time. One of the Mustangs in front. Big flash of the lights. Obviously thinks he's quicker, and to be fair, that Mustang did look like it was off the racing line a minute ago, but doesn't appear to be being held up at the moment. Down to 9th place in the standings now. A couple more people coming in with faster laps. We'll stick with car number 28. Really started to catch up with the back of the Mustang, although the Mustang now staying offline. Is he going to brakes early? No, he's not. He's moving offline, but then sort of back onto the line again, so I don't know if there's going to be any kind of improvement here. Tommy probably a little bit frustrated by that, but everyone is entitled to try and improve on their times. Everyone is entitled to track space. Right, back to Southcott, who was tippy-toeing on an improvement. It's very close. Again, another driver who is improving but finds himself up behind someone. Very quick through the Melbourne compared to normal, though. What do he do for the final turn? Can he get a decent run? He is technically up on his time. This should be enough to put him back into pole position by a long old stint as well. If he gets it right, yes, he does. 1:30.625. The car's stacking up, trying to leave the pits now. Drivers going for a fresh set of tyres, trying to see if there's anyone out there on an improvement. Chirich, and there it is, the Love Live Nico Yasawa car. I absolutely love this livery. It is ridiculous. It is over the top. It's fantastic. Car number 17. I am technically not allowed favourites, but I think that is definitely my favourite livery. Does really look like something that you would you get out of GT Asia. Absolutely fantastic livery to see. And actually, Chirich was on a bit of an improvement as well, up at the 26th place now. Let's see if he is still improving. Yes, he is. You know what? We're going to stick with Chirich. We're going to carry on doing it for a little while. One of the Mustangs going off in the background, car number 45. And that is Crichton. Obviously deciding not improving, decided to bail out. So Chirich at the moment actually chasing around after Jones. And appears to be outpacing Jones by quite a decent amount. Is Jones going to move out the way? He has moved over to the line, tapped the brakes. Yes, he has. Chirich, 0.4 up on his lap time. This should see him seriously jump up the order. If this is a clean lap, just got to hold it together for a few more turns. Gets himself through the S's. The track is now fully wet. Doubt we're going to see many improving laps this late in qualifying due to simply the fact that the track is getting wetter and wetter. The level of adhesion dropping away. Cars near the top doing slight improvements as well. What can Chirich do? Was in 27th place. Where are we going to see them jump to? 26th, so from what was a really, really quick lap, ends up dropping back quite a bit. Right, jumping on board with Lynn, the Zeeble Football League in the wall, back to 3rd place. GTR obviously feeling fairly well grounded here this evening, but at the moment Southcott still holding on to it with that 1:30.625. We go, just seeing in the chat, yeah, someone has pointed out that the top 31 cars are within a second of each other. Top 32 now within a second of each other. That is how tight the grid is, where it works on this absolutely fantastic tiered system. I do apologise, that came out of absolutely nowhere, caught me by surprise. Tiered system here with Apex Online Racing means that you get, regardless of what tier you are in, you get nice close racing, whether you are super fast like tier 1, tier 2, or whether you're a little bit slower, maybe not quite so such a veteran, such as me when I'm down in tier 9. But it means there is racing here for you with Apex Online Racing. There is also obviously all of the public servers as well that you can just jump in willy-nilly and have a good old time in there. Lots of clean racing. It's usually all community members that use them, so everyone is fairly sensible. There's no ridiculous sort of screaming children taking everyone out with a free weekend of playing. It's all very, very nicely done. Right, 3 minutes of qualifying left to go. Robert Arlabi down in 17th. Oh, well, he was on an improvement, but obviously pushing a little bit too hard. The commentator's curse has definitely struck. Off he goes. Anyone else on an improvement? Here we go. This is for Proton Competition. I think this is the first time we've seen this car number 39. Gasoline. Decent run through there, though. He's up on his time significantly. 0.3 up. We see Robert Arlabi, he's moved over to the side, letting other people through. Obviously knows that his lap is completely void at this point. Getting very squirrely there, though. That's going to lose some serious amount of time on the corner exit. In fact, it may go into the negative, so what was going to be a lap, 300ths of a second taken off, is now suddenly dropping away. Again, he tried to improve a little bit now in the braking zone. What can he do? Was in 29th. Doesn't improve this time round. 32 cars still within a second of each other at the moment. Look towards the top end of the grid. No real improvements coming along there. Got Fernando for Fernando Racing, car number 23, running in 22nd position, is improving. McLaren looking pretty comfortable here in soggy Blighty. See a continuation, lost a little bit of time there through the S's. Not a massive amount, but enough to drop off. Lots of drivers, you sort of see a very brief moment where it's a green sector time, and then suddenly it dips away and the wet weather catches them out. So stick on board with Fernando for now. We're going to see if he comes towards the line and up into 18th place. Nice little improvement there. 4 places gained. So very early on in the lap at the moment. BF Racing, AMR, Lafloche is slightly improving. This will be his final attempt at setting a lap, and he got very squirrely out the old hairpin, and that I think is probably going to be the end of that lap. I'd be very surprised if he can manage to hold on to any kind of advantage there. Kind of a 9.15. Taking a little excursion, a little picnic in the grass. We've also got Lima, who is Lima, so coming into the final. Oh, that's the Melbourne hairpin. 0.2 up on the lap. We should see a decent old jump. Should get them inside the top 10. If they can hold on to it. Lost a little bit of time there again, though. Probably going to be a bit of a short shift and then an absolute rag to the line. I think they just lost a little bit too much time. They were in 16th place. Finds himself up into 14th place as their final attempt to set a lap there. Jokic, a driver out there improving at the moment. Number 74 running in 33rd place. can be done here. And in fact, I think he's lost a bit of time there through the S's. I think the fact that it's wet, just dropping cars off the pace significantly, and suddenly someone who's on a big improvement, Piccolo. Goodness gracious, that is an absolutely insane team name. P1CE and RSGT Sebi. Car number 5, running in 22nd place at the moment. Again, everyone seems to be losing time at the Melbourne hairpin. I think the fact that normally you would run a lot of inside curb, and you're not able to in this wet conditions because there's absolutely zero traction there, but was in 22nd, runs to the line up into 11th place. Absolutely fantastic. 11th place, sorry, 11 places gained, and gets himself up into 11th place. Few cars left to go out there. Car number 111 and the car 915. Car 915 doesn't appear to be on an improvement. Don't think the 111 is either. No such luck at the minute. Right. So just having a quick look at the lap times there. So in qualifying, Southcott set a 1:30.625. A very, very impressive lap. I think yesterday we saw one driver break into the 1:29s, and that was our race winner, Aidan Walsingham. Currently being given the option to go to drive. I'll have to sit here for just a little bit longer. That is a shame. And then we will jump over and have a good old rummage through it. In fact, let's have a little bit look back at those qualifying times. So actually, if you even look at that, Southcott did set the fastest overall lap, but he didn't hold a single record for fastest sector. So Sector 1, that is being held by Lynn in that lovely Nissan GTR. Sector 2 is being held by Delubra in the Lamborghini Huracan. And Sector 3 is being held by Schroeder in the 992 GT3. So out of all the drivers out there, sort of a bit of a mix around the whole grid, and just having a bit of a look there, that is a significantly fast final sector, a 34.032. If you look at every driver above them on the timing board, they are all at least a hundredth of a second slower. So that must have been an absolutely epic final sector. That's a big old jump compared to everyone else. I think that was probably where they found the biggest amount of their advantage and got themselves up into 6th place. Right, let's go back. Is it going to let me go to it yet? No, it's not. Still waiting for that annoying session to start. So while we are waiting for that little bit to get itself sorted, let's have a quick run through the calendar coming up. So we had Silverstone last week, then we had Donington this week. Next week, bit of a change from the normal. Oh, that was a strange noise coming through my headset. I have never heard that noise before in my life. So next week we have got a 90-minute race at Monza. Then it is 60 minutes of Zolder. And then another 60 minutes of Mazzano. Then over to Indianapolis. That's for a 90 minutes sort of micro endurance event. And then Kai Lamy as well to be our season ender. Again, 60 minutes. The only time we break away from the exact grid and sort of system that we use is during these sort of micro endurance events. That is the only time where we end up going over and allowing refueling. Apart from that, no refueling allowed. It's only tyres. So we've already had a bit of a run through the championship, but let's have a quick run through the teams championship. So at the moment, leading it with it was KWADI Racing, then Grensim Argonauts 2, Boatley Boys in 3rd, Gremsim Argonauts 4, Sector Blitz Racing in 5th, Weed Bros in 6th, and Independent Racing League in 7th in the teams championship. So should not be long, and then we will be straight into the good stuff. So I had a noise come through my headset that I have never heard before in my life, and I have no idea what it was. that made the noise. So apologies if that came through at home, because it was insanely loud in my ears. So I can only imagine what it would have been like for anyone that was listening at home. So fingers crossed no one else got that horrible sort of jingly noise that came through. But we are nearing the time where we can actually go through the grid. For some reason it would not let me do what I normally do and jump in earlier than everyone else. Right, so let's run through the grid as it stands while everybody completes their outlap, looking like it is going to be a significantly wetter race than it was last night. So Chris Southcott in pole position, Jones in second, Lynn in third. It's Kazantis in fourth, Belscheit in fifth, Schroeder in sixth place, Isalovich in seventh, Ordelman in eighth, King in ninth place, Delabra in 10th, Bigelow in 11th, Azami in 12th, Zoricic in 13th place, Nathaniel Shirley 14th place, Lima in 15th place, Mathiasson in 16th place, Zizek in 17th, Robert Arlabi in 18th, Lafloche 19th place, Fernando 20th, Dorr in 21st, Sheckerman 22nd, Skylis in 23rd, Skugal in 24th, I got that right this time, Ben Milden 25th, Catalin in 26th place, Chirich in 27th, Bardakis in 28th, Amir 29th, Princeton 30th place, Zemetrov 31st, Maudley in 32nd, Jokic 33rd, Crichton in 34th place, Braun 35th, Seal. That's a cool looking car to be fair, although it does appear to have picked up a bollard at some point. It's got some extra aero, and it's gone now. In 36th place, Athenstad in 37th, Kokinis in 38th, Leishout in 39th place, Sherlin George in 40th, and Zapata leading out the grid in 41st position. I do realise I may have actually just said all of the 40s as 30s by accident, so I do apologise if I made that mistake. And seeing a fair bit of love in the chat, the Sector Blitz Racing lads cheering them on, and we've also got Ross in the chat yelling on for Skoogs. Lots of shouting. I think it looks like shouting fish or whale. Maybe not. Maybe it's a cup of tea that's yelling. I'm not entirely sure. Cars will be stacking up side by side, getting ready for the final run to the line. One corner to go, and then we'll be set for racing. I've got to mention just how varied the top of the grid is. McLaren, Aston Martin, Lexus, Nissan, Aston Martin, Porsche, Ferrari. It's really good to see such a different mix of cars all up there. There's a great thing about the custom BOP that we are running, allowing people to run these slightly older cars. I know we've got some proper mix in here. So now the final run to the line, the last few cars rounding the final corner. We're just waiting on the green. We're going to stay on the drone cameras. The lights go green, and we are off racing here at Donington for round 2 of Apex Online Racing Sprint Cup Series. Oh, there's a bump straight away. Drivers going left and right to avoid. Huge pile up. Oh dear. And the jokes were made earlier on today about let's not have a repeat of Hungaroring, and sadly we have basically had a repeat of Hungaroring, and there will not be a restart on this one. It will just go as it's going. So at the moment, no, the timing board having a bit of a wobble there. It is definitely not Isalovich in pole position. That is, I think, because there was such a big pile of cars at once. So Southcott leading the race still. Luckily managed to stay out of danger. Then obviously just behind him, we have got Jones, who's managed to hold on to it. Lynn running in 3rd place at the moment, and then Kazantis running in 4th. Surprisingly, more cars made it through that mess than I thought they would. But a couple of cars really did lose out pretty badly there. Kind of at 18 still going. I think I had to have a bit of a reset. I'm sure there will be discussions going on post-race Benjamin King up into 5th place in that 998 Lion Speed X Herbert. So a little bit further back, this is where we're starting to look at sort of the battles that are going on. We've got another little yellow flag there, car number 42, that's through the final corner, and then we've got a slowed car, car number 111. And judging by the map on the screen, I think that was probably a bit of a U-turn having to go on there. Right, little squabbles starting to happen here. Zoricic for Evolution Sim Sport, the 175 being chased down by that. Number 171. Which... okay, yep, that was my bad. Completely lost track of everything that was going on there. That is Mathiasson, who is bringing the fight to the back of Zoricic. In the absolutely most ridiculously bright car on all of planet Earth. I don't think there has ever been a car quite as bright as that one. Squad was going on just behind them as well. Got Shirley and Schroeder pretty much nose to nose. This entire group of cars. Have a quick look over that rear wing and still see that big sea of cars coming through. Fair, the wet weather probably does suit the Porsches out there. They can get a decent run, and in fact we are seeing a move being made with Daniel Shirley now having to defend against Schroeder. What can he do? Just about manages to hold on to it. We saw Chiric, yes, in the back of the shot, we just saw it there. Chiric versus Azami. Azami has managed to get himself in front. So as they cross the line, Chiric was in front, but as they've got through turn 1, then Azami has managed to squeeze his way through. But a much, much better line there by Azami. No, sorry, by Chiric and Fernando as well. Fernando going to try and go all the way around the outside. It's going to be very, very risky side by side in such treacherous conditions. But I think he might just have been able to do it. Yes, he does, and he gets the goal. But I think, I'm fairly sure, that was our race leader. Yes, it was. We're going back. We're going to see if we can catch it. We're going back 10 seconds, and it wasn't far enough. Somehow, it hasn't been hit. He's doing the right thing. He's holding the brake so everyone knows where he is. But our race leader has gone off at some point. There was an incident, and he has gone off. Lynn up into 2nd place now. So he was definitely running in 3rd. I'm trying to think who was running up the front. It all became so absolutely shaken around. But lost track of where everybody was. So now Kazantis running in 3rd. Benjamin 2nd. Benjamin King in 3rd place. Ordelman in 4th. And then in 5th place is Jones. Nice little squabble going on a little bit further back here. Now the Ferrari has managed to make its way through. That is Mathiasson up into 6th place. Manages to break free of this little pack as he comes thundering now down towards the Craner curves. Absolute full commitment to be foot absolutely flat to the floor. Holding on to the absolute limits of adhesion. Again, another great place for overtakes here just after the old hairpin. It really does depend on who has been bravest through that corner, who's managed to carry the most speed in, maintain it all the way through. Jumping back now to me, this is a little bit of everyone really. I think it's who is in that pack? Absolutely everyone. And in fact, we were on board with Jokic, who's kind of hung out to dry a little bit and ends up sort of going all the way through the grass. And didn't see a yellow flag for that, but that driver seemed to be taking quite a beating. So now this is Zemitrov versus, I believe that is car number 11. Looks to the inside for the S's. Surely can't squeeze it down there. No, he can't quite. That's car number 11 of Athenstad. Keeping an eye on this little one. It could not be. Oh, big old punt. That was, I definitely don't think was intentional, but goodness gracious, that was a huge hit. We're going to go back for that one. We'll jump over the rear wing and get a bit of an idea of what that looked like. So this was down towards the S's. He gets the braking done there. It's a decent run. And he's got a decent old run. He moves across the centre of the road, then back out to the racing line. Oh! And just gets absolutely yeeted off of the track. So I imagine that'd be a little bit of red mist descending there, I can only imagine. And in fact, I think we may have lost that driver as well. Kind of a 888 with the yellow flag. It is becoming an absolute bloodbath out there this evening. I'm not sure what on earth is going on. That's Izalovic. Can we catch that on the see, not far enough back. That was at turn 1. So not sure what's happened there, but he's off the circuit at turn 1. Very strange. Car number 917 we've just seen with a brief yellow flag. It's almost becoming a case of just continuously trying to look back at replays. So I'm going to try and call it quits for just a minute and not just keep going back and forth over replays. As we want to see what's live. We want to see what is going on out there on the track. Right. Nathaniel Shirley still in the absolute thick of it. He's got Schroeder looking to the inside now. Schroeder is going to be there. There's a little bit of a rub. He does go through. Don't think much more than a racing incident on that one, but there was definite contact. So Schroeder finds his way through and will now try to pull away from Nathaniel Shirley, but it'd be interesting to see how the two cars do. They could not be more different. One, precision German rear-engined engineering. The other one, front-engined brute force American engineering. And there's a little move going on in the background as well. Delurba trying to go round the outside of Bardakis. Great to see the Delurba livery working this time round as well. Fantastic looking car, that Lamborghini. A little bit unsettled there though. Maybe got that car set up better for the high speed corners as opposed to sort of the slower speed stuff. Maybe just catching them out just a little bit. Jumping back into the big group. Belshite, car number 69, being chased down by Dawn and then LaFloche. Let's jump on with LaFloche. Let's jump on board the dashboard. That screaming V8 thundering its way down the back straight through the S. As you can hear, everybody short shifting, getting a gear done a little bit earlier, trying to maintain as much traction on the exit. You can see just how little visibility there is already. A little bit deep there for Daw, but he might have a decent exit, gets the car in the right place, covers off the 915, not able to use the advantage. Decent run off the final corner though, but I don't think it's going to be enough. The Mustang just got the legs to keep stretching away. Little bounce starting to show in front as well. I think we've got some more movers and shakers going on. Going to quickly jump back on board with our leader. So that is Lynn in the GTR, who has currently managed to break away from the pack. Closely followed. I'm just looking at how amazingly similar the front three liveries are. They have obviously managed to survive the wet weather. So Lynn in first place, Gazatis in second place, and Benjamin King currently running in third place. Alderman does seem to be doing a fairly decent effort of catching up to the back of them. Jones has dropped back just a tad, but this, oh, what a big move there by Alderman. Gets himself up the inside. It's going to be the outside for the final turn, but that seemed like a pretty decent move. Can he hold on to it? Is he going to go for a switchback? Gets on a break a bit earlier, now tries to throw it down the inside. Can he get the traction? I think he can. It's going to be a drag race down towards turn 1. What can Alderman do? He was technically in front of King as they cross the line, and towards turn 1, he's got the job done. Door closed. And he swings on through. Alderman will be very pleased with that. A textbook switchback manoeuvre on that final corner. He was on the outside. He knew he wasn't going to be able to drive all the way around, so he just got on the brakes out a little bit earlier. Cut back in and swung across, getting that faster exit by just entering the corner a little bit later, a little bit wider. absolutely fantastic little move. That is some brilliant racecraft. Right, jumping back to another little battle going on. Schroeder versus Shirley versus Bardakis. Bardakis, probably Bardakis rather than Bardakis. So SSR Herberth, kind of a 92. Done a decent job there actually of breaking away that little bit. Delurba looks to be on a fairly decent charge, very fast driver. I wonder what the tyre temperatures are doing there, because that Porsche immediately moved over onto the wettest part of the circuit. A little bit of a cut there. Not too bad though, manages to hold it together. Lynn still with the fastest lap out there at the moment with a 32.292. Oh, and we got a yellow flag, kind of a 917. So we can catch a nice door. Let's go back 30 seconds to see if we can catch it. So that is coming up towards McLean's. So he's on the brakes, gets through McLean's easy enough. A little bit squirrel in the exit, but not too bad. Oh no, sorry, this is Zapata. Sorry, not Dorado, Zapata. Oh, that's because I'm on the wrong car. And there we go, we just saw him off in the background. Apologies, that's why I could have sworn it was Dor that had the issue. So yeah, completely wrong one. I chose the completely wrong Mustang. I'm going to blame the timing board for changing as I was trying to click it. Kind of a 917, still out there in the gravel. Leader's coming up towards it. Let's see if we can spot what's going on there. You can only presume that maybe a hardware issue. He's just parked up. No movement at the moment. Luckily, far enough off the circuit that no one should really be out that far. Right, Nathaniel Shirley versus Schroeder. Car number 915 now off as well. That is the Flosh. Right, this one we will catch. We've got the right car. This is coming down through Craner Curves. What happens here? Gets on the brakes, flashing the lights a lot there, and just cruises to a stop. Seems to almost purposely pull off out the way. What on earth is going on this evening? There is just the most obscure incidents I've ever seen this evening. We've had massive pile-ups, we've had cars sort of randomly retiring all over the place. Car number 915 is still just there. It has now gone back to the pit, and then it has just reappeared back out of the pits. Right, maybe some slight connection issues going on for some drivers as well. I'm not entirely sure. A little bit worrying, it has to be said. But at the moment, Alderman still holding on to his position. Kazantis still in second. Lynn in first place. With all of this sort of weirdness going on, the timing boards are looking very strange for... Oh, here we go. The 915 is on the move again. Car number 16, Delurba, battling it out with Fernando. He's managed to get through. Nice little squabble going on behind as well. Chirich looks to the inside of Bardakis. Sorry, Bardakis does get it done, goes through. That is also now leaving Azami in a desperate attempt to try and get through as well. Princeton also started to chase onto the back, looks to the inside. Possibly not going to go for it. Doesn't this time, but you can see how quickly Chirich is already starting to pull away from this group. We're going to jump back to sort of the middle of this. There's a little look to the inside there by Azami. Just trying to ease the pressure on, show a little bit of pressure. So we might actually see a bit of a dryness towards the end of the lap. the race. I don't think we're ever going to see a fully dry circuit, but you might find they just start to... the adhesion might change a little bit, so it might be interesting to see what happens to people's tyres towards the end of this. Got moves going on at the background. Friction looking to the outside, gets squeezed, can't go through there. Southcott, obviously, who we saw have an off earlier, who was leading the race and is our championship leader, is now in 21st place. You can see he is right on the back of Crichton. Very disappointing to be so far back. It's very difficult, doesn't matter how quick you are, to make it through traffic. decent run through the old hairpin then. Is he going to be able to do anything? He's right up the back of him, nipping at his heels like an angry Jack Russell at the postman. Can he do anything here? I don't think he can. The BMW very strong on the brakes. In fact, Crichton is losing time as he is starting to go slightly defensive. Car number 3 now with a yellow flag, and that is Oliver Braun. What has happened here? We're going about 30 seconds trying to catch this one. So coming down through the Craner curves once again. If another car just gives up and goes off to the side, then there has to be something going on. Also, that is a rejoining car. What happens here? Oh, I think he just got a little bit too far out, and the tyre ended up touching the wet stuff. Just put one tyre on the grass, and in these conditions, that was it. Car rotated. He was trying to go out wider and trying to avoid that rejoining car. I think just trying to carry a little bit too much pace at the same time as doing it, and has sent the car round and lost a colossal amount of time. Now finds himself back in 32nd place. He's got a battered Milden coming up behind him as well. There's a lot of poorly looking cars out there on the grid this evening. Right, back into this battle. Bardakis versus Asami versus Crimson. We've also now got Skugel coming in on the back as well. You and Skugel. In fact, I know we had quite a bit of love in the chat for Skugel last time, and a little bit of love this time round. And speaking of love, I love my fiance is the name of the team. Great livery on that car, running in 18th place. And to be fair, he is slowly catching up with people in front of him. He is lapping faster than the 3 cars in front of him. In fact, he's lapping significantly faster than a lot of cars in front of him, to be fair. I'm just seeing in the chat from Ross that apparently his fiance makes excellent cookies. Fantastic stuff. Maybe we need to get a custom livery with some cookies on it. Oh, there's a move going on in the background. I'm too busy talking about cookies and stuff. Let's see if we can jump back 10 seconds for that one. So this is down into the braking zone. Big dive to the inside does get it done. The two of them almost come together in the end. And actually, because of that, through goes Southcott. And yes, Southcott, before the final turn, has managed to get the move done. And now finds himself up the grid a little bit further. He is going to be under attack, though. That is going to be... Ooh, it's going to be brave into turn 1. Piccolo just about retakes the position. Fairly strong old effort there to try and take that one back into turn 1. Obviously thought, no, I have the inside line. I have the advantage. I'm not about to give it up. So Piccolo does a good job. Gets the position back off of Southcott. Kiss. I think he's trying to see who's around him. Cars around him seem to have suddenly changed. He's running in 22nd place at the moment. He's now got Belchite behind him in car number 69, applying some serious pressure. I think Bardakis must have had a problem because he was way further up. He was sort of up inside top 15, I think. Really sure. Oh, there's yellow flags going on. Trying to work out exactly who all of the cars were involved in that one. Cars sort of everywhere. I think it was kind of a 54 was one of them. We'll go back 30 seconds to see if we can catch it. I think it might have actually been in front of them as well. Oh, so was that Southcott involved in that one? Let's see if we can go to Southcott. It was! Southcott involved in that one as well. He's had an awful race for incidents this time round. We saw him coming together very, very hard. That was one of the Ferraris, and annoyingly, I knew the name of it just a minute ago, and now it slips my mind. Was that Corkinnis? Let's have a quick look. So where is Corkinnis down to? It was not Corkinnis. I think it was Lee Shout. Either way, it was quite a brightly coloured car that went flying off into the distance. What's the next one down? It was the next one down. Was it Lee Shout? It must have been Lee Shout. I think it was involved in that one. Pretty sure it was. The Pink Pig. I really hope there is a slightly closer camera shot of this, because the livery on this car also is absolutely fantastic. If it's showing up, which it might not be, which is a bit of a shame if it isn't. Bit of a different camera. Oh, it's not showing up. That's devastating. The livery on this car is absolutely amazing. So this is another driver I need to try and get in touch with and say, I need to get your livery working, because their livery was absolutely fantastic. Right. Soper versus Catalin. Move down towards them. Melbourne hairpin. What can be done? Ferrari does go to the inside. 42 going for a switchback. Might be able to get a bit of a run, but he's going to be on the outside for the final corner. No, he can't. He hasn't got an overlap. Seeing in the chat, apparently my voice is very low compared to the game. Hang on, I can always I can tweak that. That should be slightly better. I can just turn myself up a little bit. Apologies, that is what happens sometimes with different cameras depending on where you are. It all sounds a little bit different from time to time, but thank you for letting me know. Always appreciate the chat. Give me the heads up when something sounds a little bit different than it does on my end. See, this is the downside to where I am. I have totally different audio in my ears compared to everyone else. I don't only hear myself muffled through my headphones. There we go, yeah, rev up saying that's perfect now. Fantastic to hear. Battles, where are we seeing them? Ordelman, running in third place, is being caught up by Benjamin King and Jones. This is becoming a bit of a squeeze now. .36.5 minutes left of racing. It'll be interesting to see how this all goes. Yeah, let's have a quick check back in with Southcott, who now finds himself behind fan favourite Skugel. Did he do it? He looks to the inside at turn 1. It's going through. Skugel is giving him room. Yes, he has gone through. He's got it done. Fair play to Skugel. Did not just slam the door on him. He knew he was beat in that moment, and the car goes through. So Southcott now up into 17th place. He continues his charge back towards the front of the grid. He'll be desperate to try and gain as many positions as possible after that fumble earlier on. Hopefully he might be able to get a chat with him and actually find out what happened there, as sadly we didn't catch it. We only noticed it happened as some of the cars a bit further down the grid started pouring past him. Ooh, here we go. We've got a move going on. Zoricic versus Schroeder. Schroeder to the inside, takes away the position, but then loses it again. Too deep into the Melbourne. Somehow managed to get the traction out of the corner, though. God knows how that worked. I mean, it must be that rear engine just putting a little bit extra weight over his rear tyres. Zoricic not able to respond. Oh, there we go. We have found out why Door went off earlier on, and then we obviously saw him sat there for a long period of time. Apparently had a hardware issue, and then when he finally managed to fix the hardware issue, in restarting his hardware, it ended up crashing the game. So that was the end of his race. So that would explain why he was just sat there for so long at the edge of the circuit. But there we go. That answers that one. See, it's not just in real life racing that mechanical failures happen. Here in sim racing, it does happen as well. Seen some pretty hilarious ones over the years. I think one of my favourites was during a charity race at Silverstone. And a good friend of mine went to put his foot on the brake and suddenly found that his pedal went all the way to the floor and there was nothing, and he'd broken his load cell, so had absolutely no brakes at all, and somehow managed to avoid every last bit of traffic. Ended up cutting across the circuit twice because there was no way of stopping the car on the grass. But yeah, quite a funny moment, that one. Just to suddenly hear this enormous bang come through the stream, and then him just going, ah, as he went flying along. But speaking of people going, ah, here we go. We've now got Skyless looking to attack the back of the 175 as well. Decent run out the corner. He's going to be on the outside for the final turn. Zoric Zoricic, after losing one position, now appears to be losing more and more. Nicely positioned the car though defensively. A little bit slow on the exit though. What can the BMW do? Can Skyless get a run? He's going to be on the outside, coming down towards the end. I think a couple of cars are starting to struggle with warm tyres here, possibly. Seeing cars sort of moving off the racing line onto that wetter part of the circuit. Just trying to keep the overall temp to the tyres down. Skyless not able to match the Aston here through Sector 1. Hasn't quite been able to do it. But still pushing forward. Nevertheless, that's the word I was looking for. Couldn't get the word out. I just had to revert to bass monotone voice for a brief moment there to actually get the words out of my face. Otherwise, that would have been it. No words at all. Right. Skugel now finds himself under attack from Belscheit. 612 versus car number 69. Nice. The Aston does look so well balanced here. Looks very comfortable. Decent run there. He managed to hold a tighter line and maintain more speed. You can see Southcott has managed to break away from Skugel and is pushing forward. Belscheit with a slightly deeper entry. Can he get a better run? Maybe grab the inside down towards the Melbourne hairpin. I don't think he can. Maybe he can actually. He's out there. He threw the car out there before getting on the brakes and trying to swing it back in. Robert Arlavi was seeing there back in 20th place. See him just creeping into the back of the shot now. Is this Belscheit? He's trying to set up a bit of an exit here. Can't quite get it done. Still sitting in there behind Skugel. Ooh, nearly outbraked himself there into turn 1 though, I think. Or is he trying to get a bit of an extra run down the hill? Not sure. It looked a little bit unsettled though. I think we may have just saw a brief flash of the lights. Yeah, no, we're going to see anything here at the old hairpin? No, we're not. Who's going to get the better exit? They're absolutely wringing the necks out of these cars. These two having their own little battle. 316 versus... Sorry, 612 versus 69. Absolutely throwing everything they have into this race at the moment. We're going to go on the rear wing of the McLaren, looking back at Belscheit. You see the different lines they're taking there, and you can now see the Aston getting a little bit of a better run. Is it going to be enough to do anything down towards the S's? Belscheit staying in that defensive position so he can have the inside. Might end up costing him on the exit here though. It's a big run from Belscheit. That was the issue. He went just a little bit too defensive, Skugel. Now that allowed Belscheit to get a much wider entrance into the turn. He has had to go a little bit defensive there, but now he's through. He has managed to break away pretty quickly. Just managed to maintain 2 corners on the right line. As long as he can get through here fairly clean, then I would imagine that Belscheit is going to hold on to it. And he has done indeed. Right, jumping back on board with our championship leader. It's Southcott chasing after the back of Piccolo and Crimson. Got another battle going on up here, actually. We're showing a very close battle. Mathiasen versus Shirley. Mathiasen running for Hex. And then Nathaniel Shirley. And then that Ford performance. You can see the ground though that Schroeder has made up. Since he broke away from Zoricic, he has managed to really start pulling away. Just past the halfway point in the race now. So far, we haven't really seen any planned pit stops. We've seen a couple of emergency pit stops near the beginning of the race. I think when people didn't really have much choice when they were carrying large quantities of damage. That was going on further back though. Sherland George for Sector Blitz Racing. I feel like some of this livery is working and maybe not all of it. I'll have to double check, but yeah, Sherland George Sector Blitz Racing, obviously 3 of their drivers in Tier 1. 26th place at the moment. And it has to be said, that sort of yellow on black livery looking very, very mean indeed. Jump back a little bit further and we can see Zalovic versus Braun. We've got Sam Maudsley has come into the pits. Also we've had Zeal and Braun have all pitted as well. Again, those drivers I'm pretty sure were people that were involved in incidents earlier on. Right, continuing on, King versus Jones. Aston Martin versus Porsche. Like maybe the Porsche starting to struggle a little bit towards the end of the stint. The fuel load is obviously going to be lighter. The Porsche can sometimes be affected by the old weight of the fuel, especially the fact that obviously the fuel tank is in the front. So the less weight you have on the front, the less weight you've got keeping the tyres down. Plus the fact that they're starting to wear out significantly by this point. The gap has opened back up, so whatever was slowing King seems to have resolved itself and he's back on a push. Oh, just seen car number 7 something had a yellow flag very briefly. Barely sure it was this driver. Yes, at the Melbourne. We didn't see what caused it, but the car rotated and on the grass on the infield of all places. It's quite difficult to get yourself there. I think this race really has had some serious mixed fortunes. Of some drivers have just had an absolutely fantastic race and it's all been absolutely hunky-dory. But then I think a large amount of cars, after that turn 1 incident, I think a lot of them were carrying damage and have continued to carry damage. The tyres would have been wearing differently. All that practice you've been doing would have been on a perfectly conditioned car. So you're not entirely sure how fast you can go in places, and I think that's catching multiple people out. Right, Skyless versus Deleubre. Decent run here into the final turn. What can Deleubre do? Can he get a decent run out? The Huracan just looks absolutely tiny in comparison. Fair, as someone has just pointed out, here comes the fun no rain. Yeah, it's still technically falling at the moment, but the track has already gone to damp. That dry line building up. I think this is why we've been seeing drivers moving off of the racing line, trying to maintain those wets, make them go a little bit further. Should stop raining fairly soon though, and we'll start to see the circuit continuing to gain more and more temperature. Ryan Scheckerman, the driver I don't think we've actually had on the stream yet today, being chased down by Chirich. Porsche versus Porsche. Two absolutely bright liveries, looking fantastic. Nowhere near the front has pitted yet. I don't imagine we're going to see anyone pit for a little bit longer yet. I think it's going to be a lot of late pitters. It's this time though where the old timing board starts to throw a little bit of a wobbly when we've got cars sat in the pits. Car number 915 currently stationary in the pits, has been there a fairly long old time. Battle going on just a little bit further down. DMR Racing, Daniel Princeton holding off Piccolo at the moment. Oh, Piccolo getting very, very wobbly. Manages to get it under control before going down into Hollywood, but manages to hold on to it through the cranny curves as well, but that car was definitely unsettled, not looking as comfortable as we have seen before. Checkerman still managing to hold off Churich for now. Oh, kind of a 13. And that is Kokinis. Oh, and that's at turn 1. So not sure what happened there. We didn't go quite far enough back, annoyingly. But finds himself done in 31st place. Again, probably very frustrated with that one. So, Learshap versus George. So the battle just starting to brew. We're getting to the point where the race could really start to change. How people's setups are working as the weather changes. Thought I heard a car going through the gravel then, but no yellow flag, so obviously wrong. Big mistake there from Sherlin George. Absolutely did not get the braking done. We're going to go back 10 seconds. Oh, and it's annoying. How short is 10 seconds? That did not seem like 10 seconds worth of footage. But there you go. You saw Sherlin George just made a mistake, went super deep. And that was the end of that battle. It's going to take a little while to regain the kind of ground that he lost there. Right, Thiersen versus Schroeder. Schroeder right on the back of him. You can see the rain still falling. It's not mega anymore, but the track continuing to stay damp. But let's do it. Carnival 3 had a yellow flag very briefly there. Let's jump inside the absolutely wailing banshee of a car that is Carnival 92, the Porsche. It does sound absolutely fantastic. The gear changes, everything about this car sounds absolutely brilliant. I'd love to be able to drive it in this game, but I am absolutely shocking when it comes to driving the Porsche. It does not suit my driving style whatsoever. I prefer a car with a slightly looser back end. You can sort of slide through the corners a little bit. That is not what Porsche is about. Oh, a little bit squirrely there from the Thiersen. Carnival number 3. Again, seeing a yellow flag for that car. And now running slowly. He's going to have the leaders coming up behind it pretty soon. Still staying on board Schroeder for a little bit longer. You can see Schroeder using different parts of the circuit, trying to find a little advantage anywhere he can. These two incredibly close together. Short shifting, holding a tighter line, trying to run. He's all the way over to the right-hand side. Thiersen going defensive before coming back across onto the racing line. Done basically an entire lap on the dash of the Schroeder Porsche, and at the moment hasn't been able to take advantage, although we might see something here. He's super close. The rear engine applying more weight to those rear tyres just to giving him a little bit more traction. Here's a little look to the inside. Not quite able to do anything, but he is super close now. Absolutely hanging onto the back end of that Ferrari. Back out to the wide, and suddenly everyone's ears get a brief chance to breathe before these two come winging on past again. It's been mighty close between them. I'm just having a little look now. It looks like Southcott now finds himself on the back of Crinson. Taking him a long time to catch up with the back of Crinson, to be fair. He got past Skugau earlier, and then he's taken a long time to catch the back of Crinson. Very different cars. Again, the Bentley versus the McLaren. Obviously got the McLaren of Piccolo running just in front as well. So the track remains damp for now. The rain does continue to fall. Should stop raining pretty much any moment now. Don't think we're going to have long until it starts to dry up. But I don't think we're going to see the track get anywhere near good enough to be trying to run slicks. I think we're probably going to see wets all the way to the end, and which I'm surprised no one has sort of dip into the pits. We've had over, so there's less than 20 minutes left of the race now. 40 minutes of racing already done. Benjamin King, there we go, said it now. Benjamin King comes into the pits from 5th place. Oh, moves going on just in front as well of this little group. So we've got Fernando, Scheckerman and Chirich. They're having one little battle. Then we've got Piccolo and Skyless. And then we've got Crinson and Southcott. All these drivers having their own individual little squabbles. Just sort of... Ooh, bit of a mistake there from Scheckerman. The car team's unsettled himself. Oh, car number 868. We've just seen a yellow flag out for them. Where have they gone? We're going to have Sherlin George. Timing board throwing an absolute wobbly. I'm going to struggle to find 868. It's saying into the pits. I think that might have been a teleport back to pits anyway. So we won't bother trying to chase after that one. It took a little bit too long to find. That jump back to the pits really moves them around the timing board. It makes it all quite confusing. There we go. Right, Lynn into the pits. So our leader deciding now was the time to do it. Guys, pit box is all the way at the back. So at the moment, he loses positions, but it should come back to him. It has now officially stopped raining as well. I'm very interested to see. Come on, camera, turn. Very interested to see what tyres he's running as he comes out. Is he going to stay on wets or is he going to go for dries? Lots of cars coming in. Hopefully from this camera angle we should be able to see the tyre as it rolls by. A couple of cars running. There we go. He's on to slicks. They have gone over to slicks. They are braving it out on slicks. That yellow writing on the side of the tyre, that is the indication that they're going to be running slick tyres. So where is Alderman, who's running in 2nd place at the moment? Just coming down towards the Melbourne hairpin. Kazantis as well. Still fighting onto the back of him, looking for an advantage. Can't quite do it. Jones has dropped back significantly compared to all of the rest of them. It'll be interesting to see if and when these cars pit. It is looking like kind of at 80, maybe is struggling on the tyres a little bit now, staying out a little bit longer. Where is the switchover going to be? When does it become advantageous to be running different tyres? Seen Skugau winging out of the pits after just completing their mandatory stop. Right, so let's jump back to Lynn, currently running in 14th place. And where's Benjamin King? Who is running in 15th place, quite a lot further back. Just makes their way through though, gains a position. Comes through on him here. Lynn squabbles his way through, gets himself past. Well, it looked like he got past at least the Mustang, which is out of position. That's the 111 car. Squabbles going on, timing board throwing an absolute wobbly because suddenly the pit comes alive. Schroeder, Mathiasson, Zoricic, Piccolo, Southcott, Arlabi, Belchai, Athenstadt all coming into the pits. This is the car to keep a bit of an eye on to see whereabouts after the pits. Where do they all come out? because there's a lot of top-end drivers there who have all come into the pits at very, very similar times. A little look now. So, here we go. This is the Shell and George. It was saying it was a very close battle, but it's not. It turns out it's actually cars that are sort of out of position, lapping separately. We're going to stick with Lynn and see if that slightly earlier pit stop has been advantageous. A little bit of room given there. Through he goes. Oh, the two Mustangs nearly have a little bit of a clip. Oh, and Bardakis. Well, we saw with a very brief stop go 30, but then it disappeared again. Normally stop go 30 is for speeding in the pit lane. But it was so brief and then it disappeared, unless that is someone else that has got that. I'm going to jump back further. It was Jokic. Jokic has picked up a stop go 30, so that is for speeding in the pit lane. Lynn just starting another lap. Where is Kazantis? Can we spot Kazantis? So Alderman hasn't pitted yet. That's going to be a big one to keep an eye on. But look, he's being now overtaken by people. Robert Arlavi has just come flinging on past him. Oh, Bardakis picks up a drive-through penalty for that. It's going to be for track limits infringements. So everyone is kind of spread out a little bit at the moment. That weird sort of very late pit stop surely really has changed things. Penalties starting to come in now. Quite a few of them after the pits, and also later in the race, people starting to cut corners. Track has already gone to greasy, so it's now definitely advantageous to be running slicks in comparison to wets. Skugel has set the fastest lap just after the pits. So 18th place, currently with a 1:30.450. Well, I think that's just been taken away as I was reading it. Jones regained some ground here. Oh, this is going to be mighty close. So where is... oh, no, it's not. I was about to say it's going to be mighty close as to where Alderman comes out, but it's not. He is a fair old way back. So I think when we get to a timing board, there'll be a bit of a change. Yes, here we go. So now the top three, Lynn, Jones and King. Just under 11 minutes of the race left to go. The battle still further back. Looking pretty hot still. Kazantis looking to find a way past Benjamin King. They've been pretty much bumper to bumper for nearly the entire race. What a big slide from the Mustang there, putting on an absolute show for the spectators. And I imagine everyone at home suddenly had the Tokyo Drift music tinging through their ears. Belshite and Athenstadt. Nose to tail again as they climb the hill up towards McLean's. What can they do? Athenstadt holding on to it for now. Again, we're seeing just how dependable the Aston Martin is out onto the grass there. Everybody getting a lot braver. Now the track is starting to dry up. Still only greasy, and there's a bit of a slide. Definitely slowed the exit. Is it going to be enough? It's going to have to be a super brave lunge if he goes to the inside. He's going for it this time. Obviously running on the slick tyres, you could just see that yellow sort of banding that you could just start to see appear on the side. For now, just about holding on to that position. Managed to regain composure and go for it. Right back up towards the front. So, what was Kazantis versus King is sort of slowly becoming a bit of a different battle. Alderman. A decent old way back. There's some cars between them though. Delebra finally finds himself in front of Crinton. Let's see if we can jump back 30 seconds to see what happens. So that's down through the crane of curves. You can see side by side, brave stuff. As it's starting to dry out, they obviously being a bit braver and absolutely going for it. Delebra does manage to get it done. He had the inside for the old hairpin. Sticks to that main racing line, that dry line that is now appearing. Does manage to get it done. The car just looking pretty stable through there. As we sort of took away the position from Crinton. Very nicely done. Although Crinton's now picked up a drive-through penalty, so as much as that was exciting stuff to see, that race is now immediately extinguished, which is such a shame whenever you see it, that a brilliant race going on, and then suddenly that there is a penalty. But obviously penalty's there for a reason if you're cutting the track too many times. Robert Arlabi for KWID Racing will be very disappointed to be down in 19th at the moment. He's going to gain a position over Crinton, but still, it's not what he's going to want. He would have wanted to be further up the grid. He had a great race last time round. This time finds himself in some issues. Right, Chirich versus Piccolo. Earlier on we saw Chirich chasing after the back of Sheckerman, and now Chirich finds himself dropped significantly further back and being chased down by Piccolo. Not even the glorious anime girl on the paint job can save him. Track still at the stage of greasy at the moment. Just under 7 minutes of the race to go. Chirich just about holding off Piccolo for now. It's tight stuff for sure, but holding him off, just managing to keep it together. I'm just trying to see if there's anyone further down the grid who's having an even closer battle. Lee Shout versus Kokinis. This one heating up a little bit. The Pig. Super defensive there, trying to hold on to it. Kokinis is almost going to be forced to try and go all the way around the outside. He might have a run though towards the final turn. Can he do anything here? He's going to be on the inside. Can he get the braking done? No, he can't. But it's very, very deep there from Learshout. I think that's probably lost him a little bit of speed. Somehow it hasn't. How on earth has he managed to hold on to that one? I really thought we were going to see him lose the position there. But no, he's managed to hold on to it. Car number 13 of Kokinis. Now just having to apply the pressure, see if he can reel him in, make anything happen with this. Decent little squabble. Looks to the inside. Going to put him on the outside for McLean's, but can he do anything? He's got a slightly deeper line into it. He's had a decent exit. He's going to be forced to try and go around the outside or a bit of a switchback. Now we can see him attempt with the switchback. Can he get across? Can he get the line done? He's got a tiny little bit of an overlap. All he can really hope for now is to possibly force Learshout to go defensive in. He tried to go side by side in. It was never going to work. To be fair, how on earth Kokinins managed to get the car to turn in and then suddenly brake even more, stop turning in and then go in a bit further? I will never know. That was pretty mad stuff. Right, a little bit further up ahead. This one absolutely kicking off. Zuricic versus Fernando. Fernando, a driver who we've seen a fair bit on the stream this evening, looking very racy indeed. Zuricic as well has not been a driver to roll over and let people come past easy. In the back of the shot, you can see Southcott as well starting to lurk, starting to creep up on the back of the cars in front of him. think that's Mathiasen just in front. Mathiasen racing for Hex. Southcott taking a slightly deeper apex, maybe looking to try and elongate the start-finish line. Imagine Southcott will at least be pushing to try and get back into the top 10. We're going to see how it works, see how this goes. Jumping back forward again. Zoricic versus Fernando at the moment. They've sort of levelled off in their squabbles ever so slightly. The Benjamin King battle, that still rages on with Kazantzis. What have we done here? Again, such different cars. Porsche versus Lexus. One of the newest iterations of GT3 race cars in the Porsche, and then one of the oldest in the Lexus. Although the Lexus is still going quite strong, to be fair. The Lexus relies so much more on mechanical tyre grip in comparison to something like the Porsche, which although it does use a lot of mechanical grip, it also uses a lot of aero to keep that car going. For a little moment, I suddenly thought that Lynn was having himself quite the battle, but it turns out no, it is just the timing board again throwing an absolute wobbly and is cruising out ahead. 2 minutes left on the clock now. Well, there we go. At some point, Southcott has managed to make his way past Mathiasen. Gets himself just inside the top 10. Can he go after 9th? I don't think he can do. I think Fernandez is far too far away. Stad running in 19th place, car number 11. Here's Crichton. Currently trying to hold off Crinson after his drive-through penalty. Now trying to regain some positions if he can do. He hasn't got a very long amount of time to do it. Benjamin King. This will be their final lap out there, and he finds himself now coming up on some traffic in front. Oh! And a mistake. Quite a mistake. I don't know what happened there. That was very odd. Let's give about 10 seconds, see if we can spot what happened there. I think he almost was worried that the Lexus wasn't going to make the apex and almost seemed to back out quite significantly. I'm very surprised at that. It was a big old dive from downtown, but to his credit, Kazantzis, he kept the car right there on the apex. He did not wash out wide. You know, did not need the extra room that King ended up giving him. I know it can be quite unnerving when you suddenly think my race is about to be ruined by someone else, but that lost King a huge amount of time. We've got to go over to our leader who is coming towards the line. That's the time that goes to 0. As he comes across the line, that will be the end of the race. It's been a fantastic race for Lynn. Very much managed to take advantage of the incident that went on earlier, and obviously then Southcott going off as well. Managed to push forwards. And so for now, our race winner comes across the line. Lynn finishes in first place here in the second round at Donington. Jones is coming across to finish in 3rd place. And probably what we didn't expect, Kazantzis then followed by King. I mean, it was such a weird, end to the race. Alderman coming across in 5th place. Nathaniel Shirley still out there, just coming across the line now, closely followed by Schroeder. There's sort of lots and lots of weaving going on in the background between Zoricic, Fernando and Southcott. Cars all over the place still bobbing and weaving. Chirich comes across the line. 13th place, Scheckerman holds on to the fastest lap. Angus Crichton still fighting it out with Crinson. what can be done here? Can he manage to take away the position at the line? No, he is not going to be able to. Oh, and there's been an incident there. What's happened? And another car involved in it. We're going about 30 seconds. We're going to catch all of that. So this is Learshout. This is basically the end of the race. Most cars have kind of come across the line at this point. This is Learshout versus Zemitrov. A huge run there for car number 24. So no, that's Bardakis. Huge run out of the S's. Can't get it done. We're still going to stick with it, even though annoyingly we're now seeing it something different. Oh, and it's a big bump. And obviously, car number 100 desperate to get himself going again. And yeah, all a little bit wobbly there right at the end. Bit of a shame to see everything end quite the way it did. I mean, to be fair, it started pretty absolutely ridiculously, didn't it? Let's be brutally honest. Right, let's have a bit of a go through the chat. Oh, actually, hang on. Is Lynn still out there doing absolute silliness? I think he probably is. Let's see if I can get that up before he jives back into the pits. Come on, cameras. Do what I need you to do. Where is he? Is he still out there? Yes, he is. There he is. Enjoying a few little, some donuts on the grid. Fair play. Leash will be very, very pleased with that. As you can tell by the way he's just absolutely ruining his tyres. Well done. This is when, for whatever reason, the game kicks in for driving up the track backwards. I just would not be surprised. ACC can be a right spoil sport sometimes post-race. But there we go. That is the end of that one for now. We are going to jump over and have a run through the race as they crossed the line, as they finished the race on track, as it were. Obviously, post-race penalties may be applied. Who knows? There was quite a lot going on this time round, wasn't there? It has to be said. It was all very, very exciting. Let's see if anyone is willing to... Oh my goodness, we've got people coming in. No, we don't. They are waiting in the other box, so that is not for us. Right, but let's have a run through how they all finished. Lynn in first place, Jones in second, Kazantis third, Benjamin King in fourth, Alderman fifth, Shirley in sixth, Schroeder in seventh, Zoricic in eighth, Fernando ninth, and Southcott manages to get himself back up into 10th place. Matthias in 11th place, Piccolo 12th, Scheckerman bringing home fastest lap honours, comes home in 13th place, Chirich in 14th place, Skyless in 15th place, Delubra 16th, Skugel in 17th, Arlabi in 18th, Athenstad 19th, 20th place, Balscheit. 21st is Crichton, Crinson in 22nd, and Azami in 23rd. Continuing on down through, Kokinis in 24th place, Leishat 25th, Bardakis in 26th place. Oh, this was the name that I really struggled with earlier on. Liscu in 27th, 28th place, Amir, Ben Milden 29th, George 30th, Zapata 31st, Zeal 32nd, Jokic 33rd, Braun 34th, 35th is Zolovic, Lefloche in 36th place, and then cars that didn't quite finish. Well, actually it was Flosh, Dor, Maudsley, Zamitrov, Zetek and Lima. All those cars unable to make it to the end of the race. It's been absolutely fantastic stuff here at Donington. I mean, Donington is one of those circuits that always gives us great racing when we do get to come here. But now it is looking like no one has been quite brave enough. Oh, hang on, no, we've got one person who has been brave enough to come join us, and we will see who that is. You know what? Let's pull them in, unless that is going to be for the other team. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know if that's for us. Car number 188. It's saying on there. Can I view their profile? See who this is? I can't see who it is. I don't think that's for us. Oh, and to be fair, it's all gone. Right. Thank you ever so much for joining us here this evening. It has been absolutely fantastic racing again at Donington for round 2. Next week we are at Monza. Join us at 7:30 on Monday for Tier 1 and then 7:30 on Tuesday for Tier 2. If you can tune in for both, absolutely fantastic. As you can see, they can be very different races. It's been some brilliant stuff. A big shout out once again to all the members of our Patreon, our patrons. for making this possible. Obviously, we are now officially only run by Patreon, so it is absolutely fantastic to see that people are getting involved. But if you can't afford to get involved, just get in the Discord, jump in the Discord, join the community, jump onto Online.Racing, join us there. Lots of racing to be done, and loads of lobbies and bits and pieces to jump into. And we're a nice community. We're all very friendly. We all try and help each other out. So yeah, thank you ever so much for joining us, and I will see you all on Monday.